Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Okay.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning, everyone. Ohayou gozaimasu. Welcome to our SHUSHO E, our New Year's Day service. Weather's a little bit more welcoming today than it was last night, so nice to have so many here today. Let me go over the service order with you today. We're going to have sutra chanting will be the first the Sambujo, and then the Hyobyakumon that I will announce from my seat over here, and then we'll chant the Sanbutsuge. Okay. So Sanbutsuge is on page 79 in your purple book, and then let's see, we'll have the reading of. We're changing this, so reading of the Ryogemon will follow our first gatha. First gatha will be the Namo Amida Butsu on page 174. This is the regular book. Yeah. So just the purple book today. So Namo Amida Butsu 174, and then the Ryogemon on page 14. Then I'll come back for our Dharma message today, and then our final gatha will be Ondok-san on page 220. Okay, so you don't have to remember all those, but I'll announce them again when we get there. And some of you were here yesterday, and we had these sounds of the temple, instruments that are used on occasion, and some of them you may have heard, and some of you haven't heard. So I thought I would leave them out today. And this first slot will be our daikin that I still need to signal the chanting, but I'll bring this down. You could read the descriptions and hit play each of these at the end of service. So perhaps after we conclude in Oshoko, you can come and take a look at these instruments, okay? So I'd like to also welcome everyone who is watching from home, Alameda members and Manchi members and others who might be finding our Alameda YouTube session. So with that, we will begin sutra chanting, Sambujo on page 2425, and then the Hyobyakumon, and then Sanbutsuge on page 79. Namanda, 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 Namanda. Ojo, mi. イド Namanda, 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 Nam Byakumon. Today, on this occasion of the SHUSHO E New Year's Day service for 2023, members and friends of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages, Namu Kie Butsu, Namu Kie Ho, Namu Kie So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. SHUSHO Sendo 諸国領税精進偉人難領両が差仏国土第一公衆奇妙道場朝鮮国領内音義務闘争加藤愛民道蘭一切自公来生新年少女伊藤が国下楽安穏公文神妙税が心象本願の日力少々欲知上領子孫地が信行計量心死食読中学業精進忍辱不敬Now we'll have our Gatha, Namo Amida Butsu, page 174. Ryogemon, page 14. Number 1. We rely upon Tathagata Amitabha with our whole heart for the enlightenment in the life to come, abstaining from all sundry practices and teachings, and giving up the trust in our powerless self. We believe that the assurance of our rebirth comes at the very moment we entrust, and we call the name Namo Amida Butsu in happiness and thankfulness. We also acknowledge gratefully the benign benevolence of our founder and the succeeding masters who have led us to believe in this profound teaching. And we do now endeavor to follow throughout our lives the way laid down for us. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Okay, please be seated. You can look at that Ryogemon again. I wanted to share a little bit with you. First of all, welcome again to our SHUSHO E service. And this begins our cycle of events, services, holidays, festivals that we have annually at our temple. And as we participate in each of these events at the temple, our lives become more deeply rooted in the Buddha Dharma. Our lives become grounded as we walk this Nembutsu path together. So today I wanted to read the Ryogemon. There's some key things in here that I wanted to share. Relying upon Tathagata Amitabha, we know that portion of it as we recite Namo Amida Butsu. Amida is Amida Tathagata. So the statue at the center of our altar is Amida Buddha, not a deity, but a symbol of truth and symbol of reality. Okay. So in the next portion it says, we rely with our whole hearts for the enlightenment in the life to come. So sometimes it's a little bit confusing, the life to come. Some people assume that it just means the next life, the life after this one. So after we die, we enter the Pure Land. But it can also mean, many people take it to mean life after we awaken. Okay? So life after our Shinjin awakening experience is kind of a new life that we are reborn into, and not in a separate realm in this world, in this body. Okay? So that's kind of important to recognize. We abstain from all sundry practices. So all these different practices that, like meditation that other Buddhists might have, or practicing these sitting or walking types of meditation and study, these are things that we don't rely upon, and we give up the trust in our powerless self. And so this means to recognize that we are self-centered, ego-centered. So anything that we personally try to do as an accomplishment to attain enlightenment, these are still proof that our ego is still intact. So to get beyond this self-centeredness, how do we do that? We have to give up our self-centeredness. So this is what this is saying, and this is why the Ryogemon is so important here. Okay. So in the second portion, we believe that the assurance of our rebirth comes at the very moment we entrust. So this entrusting is to acknowledge the power of this vow of Amida Buddha and not on our own power. Okay, so this entrusting is in something beyond ourselves. Okay, and we call the name Namo Amida Butsu. And this is not a secret word to get us to awaken, but it says we say Namo Amida Butsu in happiness and thankfulness. Okay, So it's not like special words that we are able to recite like a mantra. It's just expressing our happiness, expressing our thankfulness. So this is what Namo Amida Butsu means. So we're not thankful unless we recognize all these elements that contribute to making our lives what it is today at each moment. And when we have this recognition, then we are appreciative. Namo Amida Butsu. Okay? So we don't hope. Thankfulness. Okay. So this is kind of our description of what Namo Amida Butsu is supposed to mean. So this is also why the Ryogemon is so important. In the final section, we acknowledge gratefully the benign benevolence of our founder. So this is Shinran Shonin here, and the succeeding masters, Renyo Shonin on the other side, and then on the far left is the seven masters from Nagarjuna Vasubandhu in India, and the three masters from China, and the final two in Japan. So these are the seven masters that brought down this Nembutsu teachings, Shinran Shonin's appreciation that he pointed out that through their teachings, this is kind of the lineage of this particular school of Buddhism that came down from the life of Shakyamuni, teachings of Amida, and coming down through the seven masters and Renyo Shonin, all of them coming to us. So this is the Ryogemon. And I wanted to share some of that background with you, because a lot of this is happening here. Today we chanted the Sambutsuge. Okay, you can put your books away, but the Sambutsuge is a story of the Bodhisattva Dharmakara, and he made these 48 vows. So Dharmakara Bodhisattva, he's the one, as a Bodhisattva, he made these vows, and after the vows were accomplished, he became Amida Buddha. So this is kind of the primordial story of the beginnings of the Nembutsu teachings, okay? So it's kind of a mythological story, and when you read the vows, it says, if when I attain Buddhahood, certain conditions have to be met, or else he rejects becoming enlightened. So he didn't want to become enlightened unless all these things came to be. And so it's kind of his vow, his wish for everyone, his wish for the world. Okay? And it's kind of to vow something, is to promise to complete them. Okay? So as these vows become our vows, so the path of Amida becomes our path. So I was looking at this article recently sent by Dr. Haneda in Berkeley, and the title of his article, Their Buddhahood First, My Buddhahood Last. Okay, think about that. I'll say it again. Third time, you're going to say it with me. Second time, listen again. Their Buddhahood first, my Buddhahood last. Okay? Say this with me. This is important. Right? Their Buddhahood first, my Buddhahood last. Okay? So Dr. Haneda is pointing out that this is kind of the Bodhisattva ideal, and we're looking to assist all beings to become enlightened. And this is the same story as the vow of Dharmakara Bodhisattva before he becomes Amida. Their Buddhahood first, he wants to make sure everybody can become enlightened. Otherwise, he rejects his own enlightenment. Okay? And so the same kind of thing happened. We always describe it when the historical Buddha Shakyamuni, he, sitting under the Bodhi tree, became enlightened. We celebrate this on Bodhi Day. So at first he's kind of thinking, deciding. He came to see all these things about the world, about reality. So this is too much. This is too hard to share. How can I explain this to anybody? And so he was kind of debating within himself, maybe I should just sit here and appreciate it myself. I don't know if I can explain it. I don't know if people can understand it. So he was hesitant. And then he finally decided he must share this realization. So this is considered to share it. So in this sense, to share it with all other beings. Their Buddhahood first means compassion, the movement of compassion. So symbolized by the flowers, life, and the candle is light, compassion, and wisdom. So the compassion aspect is to share, okay? Their Buddhahood first. So this becomes our vow. Okay? Lots of times when we think about becoming enlightened, what does that mean? What do I have to do? How do I get there, right? And it becomes like a personal goal. And Dr. Haneda is saying, never mind that goal. Think about everyone else. Their Buddhahood first, my Buddhahood last. Okay? So he's placing this perspective, not to emphasize how do I get there, what do I do, what do I need to do, how does the Nembutsu work, how am I going to feel, how is this going to impact my family, my friends, and all these things. Will I still be here? Will I be sitting somewhere else? What happens when I become enlightened? All these things. But rather than that, to think of all other beings. And so this is kind of what happens here at the temple. We provide for the temple, we help to do these kind of fundraisers and things, and we support each other, and we come together when we have Obon Bazaar, fundraisers and things like this, sales, and we provide, so more comes here, so we can do more things, have classes, have events, and other people who are new to this path have this temple available, have these events available. So this is the spirit of why we do all these things, to think of all these others first. Right? So Haneda Sensei was saying, in this path, there's actually two births, not only birth into the Pure Land to become an awakened person, okay? But, so that's one. One is to be born into the Pure Land, to become an awakened person. And the other birth is to be born into the realm of samsara, the realm of suffering, to be born here. So, we don't think about that because we're already here. But these are two births, two aspects of birth. We want to be born here. If we're just born in the Pure Land, everyone is free of suffering. There's nothing to do, right? All the action is here. So this is where we want to be born. And to recognize the place, this place, the value of this place. We have people suffering here, right? Standing in the rain, I was suffering yesterday. Coming inside, I still see rain coming in here. So the whole temple is suffering. We're trying to find out where is this rain leaking in from. And so, people have so many things, taking care of our elders or taking care of our families and young ones. All of this happens here. We get ill, we get COVID, we end up in the hospital, we fall down. All of these things happen in this realm. And so this is what we are addressing. So this is also the idea that to assist all beings, their Buddhahood first, their comfort first, look at their suffering and help them through it, right? And so this is what we hear again and again. And so when I read the article, I go, gee, that's kind of a nice way to put it, because we always end up thinking about ourselves first. And when I come to the temple, or people who've been here all their lives, what are we really supposed to be doing here at the temple? How does this Nembutsu work? How do we explain it to others? What am I supposed to be sharing with my friends when I talk about the Nembutsu teachings, or Shin Buddhism, or Buddhism in general? And so these aspects, this is kind of the Bodhisattva ideal, that to assist all other beings here. Okay? And so this is also part of the story. We hear this, that we're thinking to try so hard to do so many good deeds and get to the Pure Land. When we finally get to the Pure Land, nobody's there. Why? Because they don't want to sit there on a little pillow, all comfortable and eating Cheetos or something like that. They want to come back here and help all other beings. So as there's this movement, right? Everyone marching along, getting closer, closer, closer to the Pure Land. They finally get there. They come right back here. This is the movement of compassion. The movement of compassion. And in our path as Buddhists, we accept this movement as our movement. This is our path. Okay? I am compassion. Right? And so we become this movement, and maybe there's a moment we're there in the Pure Land. Good. Come back. There's too much to do. Come right back and keep helping, keep working, keep doing all other things, living this life in this moment, here and now. This is where the value of this path is. Not ending up somewhere, not knowing something only, but becoming this motion. We are this movement of compassion. We are the wheel of the Dharma. So this is the value when we touch people in this life, not just ourselves going somewhere else, knowing something more. So this is kind of completion, to be able to understand, to recognize this. Okay, and so when we chant the Sambutsuge, when we come to understand these things, then we are meeting this spirit of the Bodhisattva. Okay? The chanting invites us to this mentality, to see this cycle, to become this cycle, become the movement of compassion. And we accept this as our own. It's not just a story, a mythological story of Dharmakara Bodhisattva becoming Amida Buddha. This is my acceptance of this path. Okay? So this becomes very, very important, becomes very, very personal. And then we can do whatever we do, everything we do here at the temple is a manifestation of this movement. So then it becomes very real. Okay? So if we think of ourselves learning, I gotta learn more, I gotta read more, I gotta do more, then we're just talking about the wisdom aspect without the compassion aspect. Okay? The burning candle only, and not the growing flowers. Okay? So it becomes segmented and incomplete if we do that. So this is, again, guiding us to see this whole cycle, the completion of this cycle. This is the words of Shinran Shonin. This is the path of the Nembutsu. Okay? So we live this Bodhisattva ideal. So thank you for letting me share these New Year's thoughts with you. And I have this reading. I'll do this now. Just listen. It's called I Am Not. I Am. I am not my needs. I am not my anger. I am not my greed. I am not my hunger. I am not my desires. I am not my cravings. I am not my addictions. I am appreciative. I am not my needs. I am helpful. I am not my anger. I am grateful. I am not my greed. I am supportive. I am not my hunger. I am thankful. I am not my desires. I am kind. I am not my cravings. I am compassionate. I am not my addictions. I am complete. I am appreciative. I am helpful. I am grateful. I am supportive. I am thankful. I am kind. I am compassionate. I am complete. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, 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 Namanda. Okay, thank you. Now we have our second gatha, so please stand up to sing Ondok-san on page 220. Please be seated. So one of the things I do want to point out, if you look at the altar setting on New Year's Day, we have, instead of the rice offering, we have mochi, kagami mochi. So you can see right in front of Amida, in front of Shindan and Renyo, two mochi and a mikan on top. And the mochi are provided by the Buddhist Church of Oakland, so very nice of them. They don't do that for all the temples, but we are very dear neighbors. So kindly, they donate to us. They've done it the last couple of years, so very nice of them to do so. Are there any announcements today? Okay, very good. I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. I'd like to thank everyone who helped to provide everything, the flowers and the fruits set up on the altar, Oakland for the Kagami Mochi, and everyone involved in the videotaping of this service. So thank you all again. We will conclude and then we could come up in Oshoko. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Okay, thank you very much. We can come up and offer incense, and I'm going to close the video portion of the service.